Is it actually feasible from an engineering perspective to pull this off? And what about things like safety concerns?
So I think we can start from the basic premise that this is likely buildable, that you likely could build a tunnel of this length in this location. We have done, in human history, we've done quite remarkable feats of engineering. There are long tunnels, there are very long bridges. We built an International Space Station. We should be able to build this tunnel. The question isn't just can we build it and it has to be done safely. The question is, should we? Does this actually solve the congestion problem? How much does it cost? And are there better alternatives that we could address this issue at a lower cost? And interestingly, the request for proposals that was put together by the civil service actually is a very professional job. It's a good request for proposals. It looks at various alternatives and it sketches those out. But what you typically see in these circumstances is that you also have a parallel political process that's playing out, that this is being discussed in the political realm around congestion mitigation. This is very much speaking to a large portion of the Greater Toronto population who drives, who's frustrated with congestion, who's stuck in traffic, and wants someone up there fighting for them saying, I will cut the gridlock. And these are happening in parallel. Even if it's not the best solution, we're already moving to implementation before we even know if this is both feasible at an appropriate cost and whether it will actually solve the problem.
It's a great point, Matti. I want to also ask you, when I hear about this, I keep thinking of Boston. If I remember right, Boston built some big tunnel in the middle of town. And I remember I was actually visiting there maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And the depression on everyone's face when they would talk about this tunnel, it felt like it took 100 years to build and cost just infinitely more money than it was supposed to. That's kind of the worry for me here. You could say, yeah, we don't know how much it's going to cost, but just the thought of starting a project, would this ever even finish?
We know that the costs of this are going to be staggering, that we are going to be putting the whole province's investment in infrastructure into this, a project of this scale, and the amount of time and the amount of disruption too. Keep in mind, even when you're tunneling underneath and people have this impression that it's impact free, all of the dirt that you're tunneling out has to come out somewhere. And so there will be trucks everywhere. There are risks of sinkholes, which we've seen in places like Ottawa where they were tunneling under downtown. That can be disruptive and cause safety issues. So it could be done. It can likely be built, but it will be disruptive. It could be there could be safety issues. And then it likely won't actually solve the problem. So I think these are really how we have to be thinking about it. But we're here now. We should study all the options and then we figure out how to move forward.
Just speaking of the politics, what are the opposition parties been saying about this every time it comes up?
They're anti-tunnel. Nobody is on side with Doug Ford on this in the legislature. They have preferred other options. Both the opposition parties have talked at various points about buying back the tolled highway, the 407, and then either opening it up to everybody or diverting truck traffic to it is one of their preferred options. And also politically, it's not just inside the legislature, but outside that counts. We did some polling on the tunnel idea after the premier first came out and announced it, and it wasn't actually immediately incredibly popular. A lot of people, I think, Frisco had the same view as you. There's a lot of fear about how disruptive this was going to be. It wasn't necessarily a vote winner, but that didn't turn off the premier, who's continued to talk about it, put it in their last campaign platform, and was reelected. But immediately, a lot of people seem to be expressing through this poll their skepticism of the whole thing.